Guys, thanks for coming in. We were talking to Eric a minute ago about building continuity on the line when you have, Josh, you're really the only guy back that's playing the same spot as last year. And he talked about DAPS and how you aim to do 100 a day and had 131 or something. I was wondering if you could both uh, talk about what's it's sort of your take on that. I said everybody thought it was silly at first. Now it's maybe become more serious. Maybe Josh, you could take that, and then Junior.
Yeah, I mean, when you first start doing it, it's real corny. You're kind of doing it being like, haha, this is what we're doing. But then as the day progresses and you get used to it, it just brings a sort of energy to the start of the period that you really need to have a good session. And so, I mean, when we go out to inside run and we're all dapping each other up, the defense is like, oh man, these guys are playing together. They're out here to have fun and they're out here to basically whoop us. And so that's what we're trying to get them to think and just push each other along on the way.
Yeah, I think just kind of adding on top of that is it's just fun, man. Those first two periods, you're really trying to rack up your number. As later on during practice, the number's going to kind of start slowing down because you're getting tired. But that's when you got to dap up more. And so I think that's just kind of what it's building. It's building that mindset of we got to stay together during these long practices and just try to keep showing love and just touching up your brothers.
Yeah, I think it was cool to see that the first half of practice was just the O-line doing it yesterday. And then as we got later on, the wide receivers were doing it. They were catching the ball, getting a first down, coming around, dapping up the O-line, then running back to the get lined up. And to see it spread out through the offense, it just shows how close we are and how we can do anything together.
It's contagious.
So like the receivers will dap you guys or the other receivers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that count too if other
It
positions
better,
do it?
man.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
If I'm running all the way to the sideline to dap up a receiver, it better count.
Yeah. And they just Josh, well, what is it like having all these new guys in and kind of how do you feel like the cohesiveness is going? And then Junior, maybe you could address that too.
Yeah, like you said, it's pretty much a brand new offense. I mean, we're running a new scheme. We've got different players in key positions. They've done a great job of coming in and embracing what it means to be a hog. And I feel like the team from last year did a great job of embracing them. And just from my own personal experience, this is definitely the tightest and closest team I've ever been a part of. And that is something special, and that's something that I cherish, just to be able to go to work every day with people that I love and people that make me love the game. I mean, fall camp is hard. And if you're not doing it with your brothers, if you're not doing it with people that you love and that you care about and that care about you, it makes it so much worse. And so to come here in the morning, get here at 5:30 in the morning, and then there's Luke Haas, there's Fernando picking me up, getting me ready for the day, it just makes a world of difference.
I think it's a two-way go. I'm coming in, and these guys have to be open with open arms. And guys like Braun, Tykees, Amari, E. Harris, like they were all willing to, just open up their hearts to us and be like, I want to learn, I want to be led. And those guys, it's tough because I'm coming from a school like San Jose where it's like I'm playing in the Mountain West. The level's not the same. They could easily just not have their respect for me, but they opened up their arms, they opened up their hearts, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Coach Mateus was in here talking about the depth and how he's happy with a lot of what he's seen. What have you guys seen from the depth, and what do you guys like about what's going on there?
Yeah, I'll take it. I think it's just bringing energy to us. Those first few practices are grinding. You're just kind of gassed. You're not in that game shape yet, and just the daps kind of just give you energy. They realize like, hey, brother, give me a dap. And it's something that it seems simple and it seems silly, like, and you guys are laughing about it, but when you're in period 12, like it goes such a long way because I get that dap from Braun or Addison or whoever it may be, and it's just like, all right, I got my boys with me. This not the worst thing that's going on. This is gonna be a good day.
Yeah. Did you say depth or depth?
I said depth.
Okay.
Oh, depth. Oh, I thought you were talking about dap. I'm sorry about that.
I would say we've got dogs on the offensive line. I mean, Amari stepped up in a big way at the start of camp with an unfortunate circumstance that we weren't expecting, but he's filled his role and he's excelled. I mean, just to know that we've got guys back there like Tykees, Demarion, that if anything were to happen, they would step up and be able to perform. It allows us to play with no reserve because we know that we're backed up and no matter what, we're going to put a good product on the field because we have 8 to 10 guys who can play.
Yeah, I'll add on top of this. Now that I got the question,
I was just
no.
gonna let you run with it, man.
I appreciate that. No, but our depth is it's pretty cool because like you go and every day I'm going out there. I'm scared, man. He's been playing great. E Harris has been playing amazing. Like, but that's
Yeah.
it makes you just want to go harder at practice because you know that these twos they could easily be ones, but you know we just have that much depth and it's a true blessing to have as an O line.
Mhm.
Look on Braun's face when you were doing that's great. You talk about the depth and the competition stuff. Coach Mateos doesn't like us referring to you guys as starters, like
Mhm.
as the competition's ongoing.
Oh,
How does he kind of relay that to you about just keeping the competition going, that nothing's promised to you?
Yeah, he says he's going to play the best five and anyone who deserves to play.
Mhm.
And so week to week, you need to make sure that if you want to start the game, you need to make sure that you're performing at your best and that you're in the top five. But know that even if, let's say, you're not a starter at the beginning of the year, if you deserve to play and you've shown in practice that you can play and you can execute, you're going to get your chance. And when you get your chance, you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think just kind of saying what Braun said. The first day he got here and he talked to us as a whole group, he was like, the best five will play. And you guys will know that. And he's kind of reiterated that throughout the year. And so I think it's just kind of all in our heads and we all understand, the best five are going to play. And, the way we're working, I think you can kind of feel that.
Here's an understatement. Coach Petrino is very detail oriented and demanding. What has it been like working with him and just all the stuff that he really wants to get out of you guys and again, demanding?
Yeah, I would say it's a breath of fresh air because I always like to think of it as a coach, his career can be 30, 40 years. But as a college football player, we get 4, maybe 5, in some cases 6 with a COVID year. And so when you're talking about every year, your 25% of your career is over every year. And so for him to take every practice, every walkthrough as serious as he does, it makes me feel like he actually cares about me succeeding as in my college career. Because for me, this is my 5th year. I'm going out there to have a career year, to have memories for my whole life. For him, this is year whatever, and however many years he's going to coach. So it's just another tally. But for him to show that he actually cares about this team, and he shows that through his determination and through his drive to make us the best we can be.
Man, I never really thought about it that way, but that's really how it is. Like every day he comes, same energy, and he demands perfection. And if it's not perfect, you're gonna do it again. You're gonna do it again, and you're gonna do it again until it's the way he wants it to look. And he's been coaching for however long, man. And he could easily be like, I don't want to bring it today, but he brings it every day. And so, yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
His mantra is we're going to score every time we touch the ball. And he's really done a good job of instilling that in us. And so that even we expect to score every time we touch the ball. And that's, it's quite a change and it's a welcome change.
Joe Moore's a guy that wasn't here in the spring. Looks like he's fitting in pretty well. What's your all's take on Joe?
I love Joe, man.
Yeah, Joe's great. We call him the old man of the group.
Yeah, he's Braun was the old man, and then he got topped by Joe.
Thankfully, Joe came. I'm not as old anymore.
But Joe's awesome, man. He's kind of just really meshed right into the group. He didn't really try to step on people's feet. He just kind of felt it out at first, and then he just really meshed with us perfectly. In the meeting rooms, he's hilarious. He's always throwing these little one-liners, and then like he says, he's just kind of like the old guy in the room. So he has all this knowledge from his past years of playing, and he just kind of spreads that on all of us.
Yeah, I would say he's because the generational gap is so big, he's closer to Coach Mateos in age than some of the freshmen like Jonas Nance. And so I just think that's funny. But like I said earlier, he's one of the guys who's done a great job of making the most of the opportunity when it's presented to him. I mean, he came in the summer off of an injury, went through the summer battling that, rehabbing it back, and really excelled throughout the first half of fall camp. And I'm excited to see what he can do throughout the season. I'm excited to see what ends up happening with him.
You guys, Eric said the best five will play, but he also said, especially in the portal, if somebody's, practicing well enough to deserve to play, he's going to play more guys. And obviously a lot of reps during the season. It's hot. Did you guys feel good that the starters are the starters, but it's good to get some backup help in there in games too?
Yeah, I would say that it's used correctly, it can be a benefit. I mean, if let's say you tweak your ankle, you need to go get checked out by the trainers, but the offense needs to go in. If we have people that are ready to play and they can fill your spot so you can get checked out, get whatever you need taken care of so that you can perform the next drive or the next series to the best of your ability, I think that's to our benefit.
Yeah, and just kind of to his point, we have that depth where we could do that, and you know, it's not gonna be a drop off. It's maybe just gonna be the same or maybe even better because these guys are just everybody's so on top of their work and just so locked into their assignments that we could all kind of just be plugged and played anywhere.
At the end of the day, the offensive line wants to win football games.
Yeah.
And whether that's with this starting five or a different starting five, whatever five is on the field, if they can produce, we want them on the field producing.
We want to win.
Josh, you've been in there in the first team with different centers.
Mhm.
I know some that's a double training, maybe trying to find the right fight. What's happened like for you? And kind of what's your take on Addison and
Mhm.
Maury there in their center?
Yeah, I would say each center has little nuances that are different, but at the end of the day, it's the same offense, it's the same ID system, and they do a good job of being cohesive with their calls and the lingo that they use. And so I would say it's not much different whether Amari's at center or Addison's at center. We do a good job of executing the offense with either of them.
Junior, a lot of talk about you going against Landon in practice. What I know you did in the spring too. What's it been like in camp so far?
It's it could get frustrating at times, you know, because he's just such an athlete. He's such a specimen, but it's iron sharpens iron, and I'm forever grateful for being able to go up against him. You know, I'm going up against, I mean, what was he, the first team SEC defensive end or something like that? And so being able to get that every day at practice and just kind of the juice that he brings, like there's never an off day for Landon. It's 100%. I'm gonna run through your face, and you know, for me to be great, that's what it's gonna take. And so I'm glad to go up against him every day.
I tell Fernando as many times as I can, if you can block Landon, you can pretty much block anybody. And to be able to go against that in practice is very valuable.
You guys ever dab with the defense?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Fernando, I don't know how much you go up against them, but what have you made of some of the younger defensive ends, Quincy, Charlie Collins, and Kavion Henderson so far?
Those guys are going to be really good. You know, they're young, obviously, and but they have great role models in front of them, like Landon. They have Nico, they have Kiwi, they have Cam Ball. So they have these older guys that they're looking at, and then they come in and you know they give it to you just as much because they know like they're trying to step up to that next level. So you know, I'm excited to kind of see their growth. Quincy he's a freak. He's a freak, and he's going to be great one day. And you know, both Collins and Kavion, those guys are young, but once they kind of just start filling out, it's going to be scary for them in the SEC.
Josh, I'm just wondering, last year, obviously there was some struggles along the offensive line and we could tell there were some frustrations from you guys. Are you carrying kind of a chip on your shoulder as motivation this year, trying to flush it? And then has that chip on your shoulder motivation transferred to the new guys, of like, hey, we got something to prove this year, even though they might not have been here last year?
Yeah, I would say it's less of, when Coach Mateos got here, he did a great job of instilling into us the Arkansas offensive line standard. We had a homework where we researched different offensive linemen that wore the same number as us, and that just showed us that in the past, the offensive line at Arkansas have been some of the best in the country, and that is the standard. And every day we go into practice trying to uphold that standard, and it's a show me, don't tell me world. So we got to perform on Saturdays, and we got to show the fans, we got to show y'all what we're made of. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And so whether or not whatever happened last year, we didn't live up to the Arkansas standard, and that's the goal this year.
Who did y'all look up? What were your numbers? 72-55, right?
I had Denver Kirkland.
Oh, yeah,
He was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
I forgot who I had.
Come on,
Dude, I looked at it this morning too. So I was flipping through. I'll
What
get
year?
back to you on that.
What year was it? You remember the era?
I believe it was with Burlsworth.
Burlsworth. Okay.
Yeah.
We can look back. We'll look back and find
Man,
it.
I'm gonna get Coach Martez is gonna give me something for this, but
Yeah, I had kind of a stupid question, I guess. I'm just curious, but like at least when we've been out there, when we've been allowed to watch, there hasn't been music. But today there was. Any you guys know why or
was there music today?
Yeah, there was. I
Yeah,
think
you locked in?
I kind of vibe out to the music a little bit, but I think we just really been grinding. It was we had a hard 6 days this week, you know, and the big emphasis today was energy and having fun. And so I think, you know, that music kind of came on, kind of loosened some people up. You know, it's been 6 days of we're smashing. You know, today was just kind of bringing the energy, even though it's going to be hard because we've been going for 6 days and just having fun because, you know, tomorrow we got off. So let's go as hard as we can and let's just vibe out to the music.
You always want to have a great practice going into an off day.
Oh, yeah.
The worst feeling is not performing to your best Saturday morning and you don't get to cleanse that feeling until Monday morning. And so I feel like we had a good practice. So I mean, we'll see the film here in a little bit, but that just makes our Saturday evening. It's Saturday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Our Saturday evenings, we don't have to stress about fixing things if we had a good day.
Thinking like maybe Grant Gary, I don't think he was 72. Maybe in that era.
Maybe Braun.
Kenny's, Russ Brown.
I don't know. I think he's working in Fort Smith or Little Rock.
Oh,
Yeah. Kenny Sandlin.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm like 88% sure.
Oh, good job.
Thank you, guys.